2020 began with the United States and Iran on the verge of war. The US's targeted killing of revered Iranian general Qasem Soleimani, January the 3rd, whom Washington accused of masterminding numerous attacks in the region, sparked fury in Tehran. It retaliated with missile strikes on US bases in Iraq. No US service personnel were killed. Conflict was averted, but President Donald Trump kept up the pressure.
The United States will immediately impose additional punishing economic sanctions on the Iranian regime.
Trump withdrew the United States from the Iran nuclear deal in 2018, calling it a flawed agreement as it allowed Iran to continue with its ballistic missile program and support for proxy militant groups in the region. European allies, along with China, Russia and Iran, remain signatories to the nuclear deal and hope the US will rejoin.
The US withdrawal from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action or the Iran nuclear deal represents one of the biggest blows to global governance and multilateralism as we know it. So, of course, there are great hopes that a return to the deal could at some point be possible.
Other US allies, including Israel and Saudi Arabia, continue to support the United States' exit from the deal. In the years since the withdrawal, Trump has imposed a so-called maximum pressure campaign on Iran, multiple sanctions aimed at cutting access to international finance, blocking oil exports and crippling its economy. The Trump administration says Iran cannot be trusted and the sanctions are the best way to rein in its behavior.
Many public and private sector companies around the world are simply too afraid to engage with a country like Iran.
Trump's rival, Joe Biden, has said he would seek to rejoin the Iran nuclear deal, but would impose targeted sanctions over human rights abuses, terrorism and Iran's ballistic missile program. Tehran may not trust the West after Trump's pullout from the 2015 deal, says security analyst Julie Norman.
America's credibility in terms of this treaty and agreements more generally is rather in question. And we assume that Iran would, at least initially, probably, push back, try and work whatever leverage they have. With that said, Iran really is in a difficult point right now. They really do need whatever kind of re-engagement assistance can be forthcoming.
Iran is due to hold presidential elections early next year. Analysts say that leaves a short window for the US to reset relations with Tehran amid concerns that hardliners in the regime could win power. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.